Next is from Jason Santiago. Hey guys, hope everyone is well. I want to talk about the situation surrounding the renewal of AEW on WBW. The fact that there is no solid deal in place yet makes me think that there is a specific sticking point, which I believe is HBO Max. I think Tony wants distribution on that platform because their infrastructure is in place and TV library can go on there. Do you guys think this is the case, or do you believe it's about the media rights valuation? Jason Santiago from Bear, Delaware. I would think it's from their valuation for the media rights deal. I mean, we've already heard bits and snippets without them actually coming out and saying it that Dave said there was I guess money was mentioned, and Dave kind of said, well, Tony wasn't like happy about it, but he wasn't disappointed.
Right.
Which means you're disappointed.
Sure.
Because you're either, I don't know. It's obviously
we've kind of gone over this before, but I'll throw in there. Obviously, as the person that's trying to get as much money as you can, and you had a figure in your head and you don't get that figure, you're disappointed. But two things with me I'm torn on. So this is a show that is number one, the number three usually in its time, right? On their day, the number one or number three show usually. But at the same time, the show's ratings have gone down, right? So how much can you actually expect? I mean, you're not going to get what you probably expected because you haven't really, what would be the word?
Well,
you haven't really generated that type of income.
This is all that matters, okay? Is the conversations that AEW is having with advertisers, wondering how much they can get from advertisers to advertise AEW, to advertise on that show, and obviously they're not getting good answers, so they can't give AEW more money, is what it sounds like to me. Yeah. Because the ratings went down, and advertisers are looking at shows. It's like if you were advertising the show and paying for ads, and now the ads are the show is 25% less viewership than it's been, over the past like 2-3 years. Well, as an advertiser, you're not going to be paying much more that much more for the ads from now on.
Yeah, you're going to go to a show that has a better rating.
Of course.
Now, for one part, it's good because now you pay less, but less people are watching. So which do you want to do?
So I would bring this up because that's the issue. Because like the AEW is negotiating with, Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers is talking to advertisers and trying to get them to advertise the product so they can hey, can you come on and advertise? Then they can say, okay, we can give these guys $70 million now.
Let me tell you another thing that's kind of.
Here's the thing. Okay, this is my final thought on this. The fact that they've done foolish things, okay, in the middle of during this process trying to get a new TV rights deal, like a lot of foul language and a lot of blood and gore. Okay, and a lot of gratuitous violence on that show.
Or how many times did they show somebody blading, bro? People must look at for the first time and go, that's sick.
Okay, there's no way you have your pie chart of advertisers and think that that was a positive metric in the advertisers you have, potential advertiser you want to sell to. Did you lose advertisers for doing that, or did you gain potential advertisers? The answer to that is obviously you've lost potential advertisers that you needed to get more dollars for your rights fees. And I think that's obvious.
The other thing that's curious to me is that you always hear him saying, and of course this is his job to say this, yeah, we had a good talk. They've been very good partners. Like he says all the right things, but I never hear anything from WBD.
Right. Well, and the funny thing
and I have heard them put over other shows.
Okay, because Dave always says that WBD is happy.
All right.
I'd like to see a source on that.
Yeah, they might be. I don't know, but
because I can't imagine if WBD. I've said if WBD is a very poorly run company, if they look at this property that they have and the ratings have dropped like 40-30% from when they started 5 years ago, and used the word happy, I think they'd be happy if they went up 30%.
Right.
Not like down. So it's like it's like I question those reports.
Yeah.
So.
But
here's the thing. My final thought, the second final thought. Okay, I would like AEW to get a considerable raise in their rights fees because I would like to. I don't know if they would do it, but I would hope that they would take that money and put it into their production. like we said, get a really good video editing team that can produce packages. Put more money into the stage and the setting. Put more money into.
Yeah, but you know what's funny, dude? Let me tell you what's funny. I don't have you gone to DDP's house lately?
Not lately, no.
Okay. Well, I went to his house. Okay. Incredible place. Slept over there. The guy's there's nobody like that guy. Yeah.
Were you in your own bed, or did you have to share?
Yeah, I shared. We snuggled.
Share with Russo's kid? Does Russo's kid still work there?
We shared, and then I went over to Jake.
Did you really?
Then we shared a little bed.
I need to share this on Vince's show that you went back to see DDP's.
Tell him that, and see how he reacts. Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
How many years later is that? Now he's like of age.
Right. So he's got to be 30 something, right?
Yeah, right. Definitely.
So for those of you that don't know, Vince Russo's sons, Will, and what's the other kid's name?
Well, I used to call him the troubled youth because the troubled youth, black, and he would always be locked in his room.
Right.
It was very antisocial.
So these two guys who were super cool guys came to Impact to visit their dad, right? And one was 16, and I don't know how old the other guy was, but Will was 16. Yeah. And, I was there, some of my contemporaries, and they were there. And while the thing was in rotation, they just grabbed it and like, you could tell they've been for a while. There's no way I introduced them to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so years later, Vince found out, and he thought that I had introduced his son to it. And I was like, bro, let me tell you, by the way he handled that and grabbed it and held it and exhaled it, he's been there before. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's always been like a good little joke between us. But here was my point. So he has a whole separate thing there, like a building, like a storage warehouse, but it's humongous, bro. And it's all like editing bays and producing. Like he
produces videos.
Tony could use him.
Well,
and he had to use them. But why aren't they using him?
When they first started, that's who they were using.
DDP loves wrestling. He'd probably give him a cut. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he's not using him anymore.
Here's what I've heard.
Right.
Okay? And I might be murky on this story because it was 5 years ago.
Right.
That they were using them for video editing, but because they were such marks, they weren't paying them anything.
Oh.
They were marks for the product, so they were doing it free. So that's what I heard. Okay, so I'm relaying a story I heard. I will not reveal my sources,
right?
But I will relay the story. Okay.
If I was to speculate, I'd say DDP is very close with Cody. Cody left. That could have something to do with it also.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.